You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Keeping Up with the Kardashians After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Keeping Up with the Kardashians After Show.
Hello, everybody. Bing is for doing, and we're here doing another after show for E's Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Season 8, Episode 2. Enough is enough. I'm your host, Jason Ikeler, and joining me tonight is my Gorgina co-host.
And I'm here with my little Viagra baby. I'm Danica Kennedy. Good to be here.
Keaton is out tonight, but she'll be back with us next week. We'll hold it down without her, though. We've got to start out talking about the elephant in the room. But Robert Kardashian. We started last week talking about Rob's weight, too, which is kind of funny. But it's kind of like you can't avoid it.
Well, I mean, I feel like this whole season we're going to be talking about who's fat when, because we know that Kim's going to get fat because she's pregnant. So I feel like it's going to go from Rob being fat to Kim being fat. It's going to be the next
If you're
transition.
listening, we're not usually this superficial, but we got to talk about it. So it starts out, the family's talking about Rob's weight gain. Rob's not there, which I thought was a little unfair toward him, because if I was Rob in this situation watching it back, and my whole family's like, oh, you're Mason's new teddy bear, or like, oh, Rob's a heifer, I'd be kind of pissed.
I feel like it's really mean for them to talk about it like that, but they're talking about it because they care, and they know that he's getting a little chubby because he's depressed.
Yeah, do you think it's like unhealthy fat, or do you just think it's like eating too much In-N-Out fat?
Well, they kept saying that he eats really late at night, so maybe he's been like going out and drinking or smoking and then gets the munchies or something.
Didn't Khloe say that he like sneaks Pop-Tarts in his room too?
Yeah. Like she found a box in there or
I used to do that when I was a kid because my mom would buy them, and we had like 4 kids in our family, and so I'd like hide them so I'd get them, but I wouldn't eat them at night. It's just so I could eat.
That's smart.
I know. So Rob ends up, nighttime snack. Rob ends up calling Kim and kind of has this little mini emotional breakdown where he's like, I'm trying to start this sock line and I'm too fat for fashion. Mm-hmm. And Kim decides she's going to help him. But do you think he's too fat for fashion?
I don't think so. I feel like nowadays things are slowly starting to change where there's more plus size people in the fashion industry. So I think he would be fine since he has such a big name and such a, the Kardashians are right behind him. I wouldn't think it would hurt though to get in better shape.
Maybe if he was trying to come out with like an underwear line or something, then it'd be like, okay, Rob, tone it down. But it's just socks. Anybody can wear socks. Yeah,
you don't have to be in shape to get him over your ankles. Unless you have like, if he's got cankles, then there's something he needs to worry about. So Kim decides she's gonna like help Rob, so she weighs him, and I don't know how tall he is, but he's 241 pounds. And his waist is 45 or 46 inches, and then Kim 50% body fat.
Yeah, which
is what she
was
said.
That Kim being bad at math, or was that actually a thing?
I don't know. Well, she was pinching the fat and measuring. I mean, I've seen those things online, but I've never actually done it to myself because I'm too lazy.
I feel like whenever you do it to yourself, it's wrong though.
Yeah.
But I think because he was like at the end of the obese chart.
I don't think he's 50% body fat, because we have to remember the camera adds 10 pounds.
That's true. So really so we're seeing him like 60 pounds overweight then.
And so really we're a lot skinnier than we look on camera right now.
We're way prettier than this in real life. So Kim decides she's going to get Rob a trainer, which I thought was a nice thing to do because, I don't know, maybe Rob can't afford a trainer. Kim can. So she buys him a trainer and goes to meet him at the gym, and he stands her up.
And apparently he made 10 appointments to have personal training and showed up to
one of them
and bailed on all the other ones.
Well, and this is what I don't get. The only thing that we know, at least, that Rob is doing is his sock line. So he has so much free time. If you have that much free time and you're overweight and you're in this industry that's all about how you look, you should be at the gym 4 to 5 hours a day. Like, you don't have anything else to do.
That's why bartenders are in such good shape, because they don't work during the days.
Oh.
They work out, or at least in West Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
They are. That's a different situation.
Yeah. They are all like ripped.
They are.
But he needs to do that because, I mean, even like Khloe looks so good right now.
Well, Rob used to be hot.
Yeah,
too.
Rob used to have. They showed pictures.
Rob
used to have a rockin' body. But if you're only showing up to 1 out of 10 gym things, that's probably why.
And his excuse was that Kim works out too early in the morning. They're supposed to meet at 8 a.m., but she usually works out at 5 or 6. But I realized why that's a problem, and it's because he's up so late eating Pop-Tarts in bed. So. And
I do think that if you are not on a schedule, it's easier to like get off of a gym schedule as well. Like if he was waking up at the same time every morning, then I think it'd be easier for him to get in the gym and eat healthy.
Yeah.
But he needs to do something. And if you're not
working all the time, I mean, I would naturally stay up really late and sleep in really late too.
Eat lots of Pop-Tarts.
Makes sense.
So Khloe and Kim have this idea or Kim goes to Khloe and's like, hey, Rob ditched me. And Khloe's like, he's out getting ribs. So Kim sneaks up on him and kind of just calls him out in front of all of his friends. And they're like, yeah, Rob ditches us all the time too.
He's a bailer.
I think he's depressed.
I think so too. But I kind of feel bad for him because it would be really hard to have siblings that are so in the spotlight and so successful. And like whenever you go anywhere, I'm sure he's asked about his sisters constantly. So,
but at the same time,
other
his
problems
sisters,
too.
I mean, yes, they do have each other and they work together. But his sisters have worked really hard to each make their own individual name for themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you see Khloe, you think of Khloe. When you see Kourtney, you think of Kourtney. When you see Rob, you think he's just fat. You don't like.
Well, he's
it's
trying
not like he
to
has
make his
anything
name
going on
for himself. It's just not working out for him.
He should open a burger joint
instead of socks.
Yeah. So that might work. I don't know. There you go, Rob. So Khloe and Kim decide they're going to reverse psychology Rob. And so they order all of this food. They get In-N-Out, pizza, Chinese food. And they decide like maybe if he eats too much of it, then he'll get sick and it'll kick him into shape.
Well, they were comparing it to smoking cigarettes. Someone was trying to quit, like their mom or something. I think it was their mom. She was smoking a bunch, so she just smoked a ton until she was so sick of them that she didn't want them anymore. That doesn't happen with In-N-Out animal fries.
I feel like though it does though, because
like.
have you ever done like a cleanse or anything?
Yeah.
I always like eat so unhealthy the day before, and then you wake up the next morning, and you're like, I just want to eat good.
Yeah, you just want.
So, but apparently not for Rob.
That didn't work for him because he pigged out on pizza, Chinese food, and In-N-Out.
Disgusting. Well, actually, really good because all that food is making me so hungry.
Yeah, but then the next morning he woke up and started eating it again.
Leftover fast food is disgusting. But I love when Kim goes, I really needed a pregnant friend, so this is perfect.
I know.
Because that's really what he
together.
is. And he was saying, like, I'm jumpstarting my metabolism. That's not how you jumpstart your metabolism with French fries.
No, you have like a protein shake in the morning or an apple.
So this conflict wasn't really resolved, which is very unlike Kardashians, because they usually like resolve everything at the end of the hour. And so I don't know, because I haven't seen recent pictures of him, but has he slimmed down?
I haven't seen any recent ones either. The most, like, I Googled him recently just to see if there was any new news, and there were still chubby pictures up, like, as the most recent.
Okay.
Maybe he slimmed down a little.
Maybe that's for, like, season 9 of the Kardashians.
Yeah.
A brand new Rob. Kim loses the baby weight, Rob loses his weight. So before we get into this next topic, we want to remind everybody listening and watching to go onto iTunes and get Serial Buddies. It's a new movie made by the AfterBuzz TV crew. Maria Menounos is in it. Kathy Lee Gifford's in it. Beth Bears from Two Broke Girls in it. Pretty much anybody that you know is in the movie. And all of the funds from the movie go back in to AfterBuzz. Everything we do here is free, so this helps us keep the lights on and keep everything running. And it's a really funny movie, and it's like $4 or $5 on iTunes right now. So you can definitely afford that.
And we're bringing you all this free content, so it's the least you could do.
Yeah.
Just go check it out.
Come on, you won't regret it. It is really funny. We wouldn't lie to you. At least I wouldn't. I don't know about you, Gorgina. So let's talk about Chris's all of these abuse allegations. So Rob Kardashian Sr.'s ex-wife, we find out, married him on his deathbed, which I didn't realize until the episode. And now, this was happening a couple months ago, but she's leaking all these stories to the press. And by leaking, I mean she's completely making them up. That Kris abuses Kim, Khloe's not their real daughter, just all this stuff. And
taking pictures at the Christmas party saying that Kris wasn't there during Christmas when she was the one taking the picture. Just
and it
lies
just
after
seems
lies.
Like very untasteful because Rob is not alive. So to like, I don't know, I just feel like that's such a bad mojo on her part. Yeah. And so I think, I don't know, because Kardashians are in the tabloids and the press all the time and they can usually deal with it. But I think when it is something this personal, then they have a right to be upset about it.
I don't believe that at all, that she would be abusive either. Like, I don't think a lot of people would believe that, even though she is like
no,
the
I mean, maybe if it was
whatever.
like her abusing Khloe, it would be a little more understandable.
Yeah.
But like, Kim is her pride and joy. She's not touching
Kim's
her.
her favorite.
Yeah. So I don't
She's
know.
the money maker.
I like, you never, I don't know, we felt bad for Kris last episode too. Kris was really starting to get on Team Kris over here.
Well, she's been so upset too.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like her and Bruce's relationship hasn't been that strong, and then that on top of it probably doesn't help.
No, I agree. And then when Kylie told Kris too that people at school were asking her about it, and that's when I think,
mom beat
you?
That's
when I think it is really unfair because Kendall and Kylie are still in high school, and so when things in the press, I think when your family's in the public eye, you don't realize that like, oh, this really does impact the young kids.
It's terrible. I don't know. I feel like it's the best way to handle it, though. Like, the way they did it in this episode was, you know, Kim and Khloe went off to get a private investigator and a lawyer to help out with all this. But the best way to handle it is by just having it on this reality show.
Oh my God,
because
so
you feel
true.
so bad for them.
Because they get like the final revenge.
Yeah, I mean, everyone or most people watch this show, so it's gonna get out either way, even more than it would with just the lawyers.
Well, and it just kind of makes her look like a nutcase, which also Kim loves hiring private investigators. I think she's so done it in like 4 or 5
shows too.
4 or 5 times, but she gets the same guy every time. And last time when we saw her in Kourtney and Kim Take Miami, she kind of got in trouble because she was messing with Kourtney and Scott's relationship. But now like she's using it for good, and I thought that was kind of cool that they're not like going behind their mom's back, but they're trying to help her without even telling her.
Yeah, usually when they go behind her back, it's because they're gonna prank her or something.
Yeah,
so
it's
from
like
a good
weird
place
seeing
this
them
time.
be nice to him. And so he gets all this dirt on her, but you find out she's filed bankruptcy twice, and she's been married 5 times, which kind of hard to beat Kim in the marriage department, but she did by 2. Or I guess she's only been married.
Well, I mean, she marries guys on their deathbeds. So
yeah, that's crazy. And her first marriage was when she was 15.
She must have great standards.
But it, I mean, he did have money, but it kind of just shows too, like, that she's actually in this for the money, because if she's filed bankruptcy that many times, obviously she's kind of hurting for cash.
People say you have to marry for, you know, love but not money. But if you love money, then you're still marrying for love, right?
Oh, that's a really interesting point. So I love when Khloe tells the attorney, I know I'm not allowed to swear on her, but it's a direct quote, so I'm going to. She says she wants to take a shit on that lady's face. And I thought that was the perfect thing to say, and I hope the lady watches the show and now she knows, don't mess with Khloe.
What did Kourtney say? She was talking about how they wanted to get her to another country or something, or
she's like, I hope she runs away to another country.
Oh, because she ran from the papers they tried to serve her.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't take them, but then she finally did in the end.
So I don't really get how that works when you serve somebody papers. Do you?
Well, you serve them physically, so I was wondering did she turn around and run from the person that was... Because don't you get an envelope?
And that's how you know.
Isn't it like a document that you're handed?
Marissa's shaking her head yes.
Yeah, usually they're enclosed in a nice manila envelope.
So that's how you have to know you've been served. You got served?
Well, whoever gives it to you usually says you got served.
They tell you.
Actually, I just watched this video online of Sierra at her concert, and she like skipped some other concert. And so they're suing her. So while she's on stage, they hand her the papers. She got like served while she's performing.
That's
It's
really
funny.
embarrassing.
I know. way to kick off the show.
That's
so.
kind of sad. I'm sorry.
I know.
What did
But
the fans do? Do you know? Were they kind of
she kind of just like took the papers and threw them. So maybe that's what this lady did too.
got served on stage?
You got served. So I don't know. Did they end up once you serve the papers? Now they're trying to sue her.
It sounds like they tried to serve her the papers and she ran away, and then they tried again, and she took them, and she's gonna like go to court with it. I'm guessing we're gonna probably see in the next few episodes.
Yeah, we'll check up on that too for you guys because I'm not really sure how that all panned out. And before we get into our final topic, we want you guys to get back on iTunes. After you download Serial Buddies, you can then download the Keeping Up with the Kardashians podcast and rate us 5 stars and leave us lots and lots of comments. And we're a new panel from last time, so you gotta re-rate and leave us new comments.
And re-follow us all on Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. And share the YouTube things. We love when you guys comment, and we will write back.
And we love talking about this stuff, so feel free to, comment, let us know what you think, even if it's completely opposite of what we think.
Yeah, we want to know.
We want to know what you guys are thinking out there.
What we also want to know is what Brody is thinking, because Brody's got some serious daddy issues we learned tonight. And we haven't really seen Brody. He's been in the Kardashians a little bit, but never like a major plot line. And so the last time I've seen Brody like really interact is on the hills.
I know, it's weird. And he's still so hot.
Yeah, he's still hot, but now he's kind of like he's almost 30. And do you have that list?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so before we talk about Brody, Danica has a list.
Where'd it go?
Danica's finding a list.
I'll find a list.
Of all of the women in Hollywood that Brody has dated, and it's a long list. And I'm pretty sure they're all like real relationships. I don't think any of them are just like tabloid stuff. So Brody is having issues with Bruce because he sees how Bruce interacts with Kendall and Kylie, and which has to be hard too, even if he watches the show, because Bruce is such a good dad to Kendall and Kylie. And so really if Bruce wasn't a good dad to you, that would obviously be hard to watch.
It would be hard. I mean, I can kind of relate because my parents divorced when I was little, and my dad was never in the picture. He never did child support. He didn't do the birthday cards, any of that. So I can relate. And it would be really hard to see, he's so into the Kardashian family, and that's like his family. That would be really hard to see. But once it's been that long and you're like 30, it's kind of like you need to either like get over it and move on, or make amends or something after that long of time.
And do you think that's kind of like a very serious issue? Do you think he should have brought it up on camera?
I mean, I wouldn't. If I were him, I would have kept that private.
Because that's kind of how we're being like reintroduced to Brody on the show, like this 30-year-old with daddy issues.
It's sad too, because every single clip that he's in, it's what he's talking about too. Yeah. There's no other clips. It just makes him seem like he's really depressed about it all the time.
Yeah, so he had this good relationship with his mom, Linda, who was also seen on the hills. And there's kind of like this mixed story where would Linda let Brody see Bruce, or was Bruce the one staying away? And Brody goes to basically everybody in the family and talks to them about it, but not Bruce.
And then when he does, he confronts him about it and says, "You were never there. It was just me and Mom, and you didn't do anything for me." And when he said that, I kind of would expect Bruce to be more warm and friendly.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like this huge like sad moment, and Bruce was kind of like cold about it.
He was kind of a dick.
Yeah,
he was really rude.
He's like, "Well, you don't know my side of the story." And I feel like regardless of your side of the story, if this is your son and you're the parent, you're at fault.
It's if your kid comes to you and says, "I feel like you don't love me and you don't care about me," you don't say like, "Well, you don't understand what I was going through." You say, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Like, let's hang out. Let's go golfing. I want to be there for you. Let me make it up to you."
Like Brody said, there was birthdays where Bruce didn't call.
It's terrible.
And I don't care what goes on in your divorce. Like, that's still your child, And
you can't redo the past. I mean, he wasn't there, but he can make up for it now without being bitter. And I think he could have handled it way better than he did, and in a more polite and caring way.
Well, because even Brandon was saying, like, "Oh, Bruce, you were a bad dad to me, too. I was just older, so I could handle it better."
I wonder why he's such a good parent to Kendall and Kylie, do you think it's because he's trying to make up for being a bad parent to his other kids?
I think it must be, but also him and Chris are still, well, we don't know. We'll talk about that in news and gossip. Him and Chris have been together this whole time, so I think obviously that maybe that's easier for him if they're still married. But also, I feel like he's less career oriented right now too.
He doesn't have like a full-on job
Olympic
or
medal, whatever they call those things. He doesn't
flying
have to
his
do that anymore.
helicopters,
Yeah.
his mini helicopters.
So I feel like he has more time to be a good dad now.
Yeah.
And maybe he learned from his mistakes.
Well, he may not have been there as a father to Brody, but Brody sure got those handsome looks, which is all that matters to me.
Yeah. Do you have the list?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I have it ready.
His
so
handsome
in
looks,
order.
This is Brody's
those looks got
dating
him.
past.
Okay, so starting with Kristen Cavalieri, it
Okay.
goes to Nicole Richie, Lauren Conrad, Haley Duff.
Haley Duff?
Fling with Paris Hilton.
Okay, does he likes to date
Cora Skinner.
like Lauren and Kristen, Paris and Nicole?
All celebrities, by the way.
All friends.
Jade Nicole, Audrina Patridge, and Avril Lavigne.
Okay, he has an Avril tattoo. Did you see that?
It looks like it was just drawn on a pen, so I had to go back and rewind and replay it. It says Avril right here.
Who do we think he should date?
I mean, I'm single, so
There we go.
just add me to the celebrity list
Okay.
on BuzzFeed right here.
Tweet at him.
I'm just
Hey,
kidding.
Brody, I'm single.
But really, who would he be good with?
I'm trying to think. He's got to date a reality star. Maybe like one of the Vanderpump Rules girls.
Yes.
Somebody
Move out,
trashy.
Jack.
Yeah.
Stassi has a new man.
Brody Jenner. Dun dun dun.
I kind of like that.
I do too. We'll ship that, as the little Tumblr kids say.
Yes.
That wraps up the episode. We'll get into some news and gossip.
Yes, we have some fun stuff. So the Kardashians did this whole new photo shoot to promote season 8 of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and they did a family photo, and then they also filmed when they were doing the photo shoot too. So they have all this footage, and everyone in the family is there. Yeah, it was on E. So they're showing this photo shoot happening, and Lamar's not there at the photo shoot, but he's magically there in all the promo pics. So he was obviously photoshopped in, and they have it on BuzzFeed.com if you guys want to check out the article. It's kind of funny. They have all these pictures, and it shows him being photoshopped into them. So there's a couple pics with him and Khloe looking romantic, but it's just her posing by herself.
So funny.
And they just kind of left a gap open for the family
I thought it was
picture.
interesting too because they didn't Photoshop Kanye in. I guess he's not really
should've.
featured on the show as much, but still you would think.
They photoshopped him in as a joke in one of the pictures,
On
though,
BuzzFeed?
on this
That's funny.
BuzzFeed.
Danica will tweet out the link too.
Yeah,
and
I'll
then-
tweet all these out. And then another news and gossip story is that Kim Kardashian there's basically a new statue of David in Los Angeles now. The nude pregnant Kim Kardashian statue has been unveiled. It's a life-sized figure of the 32-year-old reality star, and the piece is titled LA Fertility. I love that,
Oh my
by
God.
the way. And you can go there and you can take pictures with the life-size statue, and you can rub the belly for good luck.
It's like a modern day Buddha.
I love it. I think we need to go.
I know, I think we should too. But she's like naked too. It's like
Yeah.
naked pregnant Kim.
And she's armless. No arms. But the reason the artist made it was because she was getting such bad things in the such bad news in the paper about her being fat and comparing her to killer whales, and he just wanted to show that the human form is beautiful.
Oh, that's
and
kind
the
of nice.
curves.
Yeah, I thought
So
it was to make fun of her.
it has a good meaning.
Oh, that's
It's
cool.
he's a fan, I think, and
Okay.
he wanted to do it in
It was actually me.
appreciation. Could you?
I carved that.
You sculpted it right
Yeah.
after our after show. Went home, found a rock.
I made it out of butter.
That'd make it so much better.
I know.
Rub the belly of butter.
Oh my God.
Be ridiculous. And then Khloe Kardashian, two things about her. She was on the Jay Leno show, and she was talking about Chris and Bruce's relationship, and she confirmed that they are living apart still, and it started as being just, as we saw last week, he kind of wanted a man cave, and so they bought an extra house for him to have his own time, but he's been staying there a lot more than expected.
That's kind of what Khloe predicted on the Kardashians last week too, that this would happen. If he got a separate house, he wouldn't live with her.
I don't understand why he can't just get a guest house or a room in their house already that could be his.
But I think this is why we see Bruce is not good at parenting. Because Kendall and Kylie still live with him, and okay, you already screwed up with Brody and Brandon. Like now you're gonna move out on your 2 younger daughters too.
They're almost out of high school too. It's
yeah,
just
like
hold
you
on
can't
for
just
a few
wait.
more years.
That makes me mad.
Also, Khloe has lost a lot of weight. She's looking fabulous. Not to talk about weight all episode long,
but we will.
But we will. And she's lost about 35 pounds so far just from eating healthy and working out. No crazy diets. Because she's gone up and down with all the comments over the years.
She's always been like a little curvy, but she's always rocked the curves, I think.
I think so too. And people have been so mean to her about her weight over the years. And I think it's really rude because her sisters are way tinier than her.
Yeah, she's like a foot taller than them.
Yeah, if you put me next to someone who's 5'2", I look gigantic too. Everyone does.
Also, side note, Khloe and Chris were at Maria Menounos' birthday party last night, spotted by Marissa, our engineer.
Yeah, they were there. They were having a nice time.
And Kim didn't show up.
Make up some drama.
I
Chloe punched somebody in the face.
no, never show Kardashians in a bad light. Yeah, they were at the party. It was nice to see that they went there to, wish Maria a happy birthday. They had a great time.
That's cool. I love Khloe's my favorite Kardashian.
Me too. I feel like she's the most real,
Yeah.
and she's the funniest.
For sure. Let's get into some predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Do you want to go first?
Well, prediction is that Rob's weight will go down as Kim's goes up.
Okay.
And then they'll
that's like a
kinda-
negative correlation. I think that's what that's called.
It is. It's terrible.
The technical term.
But since we've been talking about weight so much, I had to do a prediction about that.
Yeah, I like that. I'm going to predict that maybe Brody will date somebody because he's got to have a better storyline than just daddy issues, right?
I hope they keep him on for the rest of the season. And
I know he
has other
signed on to
things.
do the whole season, so
Great.
He's got to have more storylines. We will continue this conversation with you guys on social media. Where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Danica Kennedy and at danicakennedy.com.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jason Ikeler. We will see you guys in here next week.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.